Hello. Merry Christmas, everyone. It's been ages since I've done an update, so I'm sorry. Don't want you all to think that I just took your money and ran, but I've just been applying for jobs, not getting jobs, chasing payment on... I did some cleaning work late summer now, I think it was, and the guy in question is now ghosting me for payment, having told me it would be paid this day and then that day, and he's already made the payment. Anyway, it's not that much money, so it doesn't really make much difference. But anyway, and I've also been trying to make, everyone's getting homemade presents this year, which I don't mind so much. I actually quite enjoy it. But anyway, in the meantime, I've just been making shit, designing shit out of stuff that people have thrown away or very cheap stuff. I've designed quite a lot of lamps, which I'll, I don't know, maybe I'll post some pictures of or something. I don't know how you do that on here. I also, my son's bike that I've been trying to finish for ages, I stayed up all last night while they were here last night. And they were asleep in my bed, so I'm in their bedroom, which I'm trying to pimp up for them. I've been awake all night last night, basically getting his bike ready for him with a matching baseball cap. And by the time I finished it, I looked at this thing and I thought, David, this is an absolute piece of shit. What on earth were you thinking? But he loved it. So I've got a couple of videos of that, so I'll post that as well. And now, I mean, my Christmas present to them, apart from that bike to him and something that I gave Ava this morning, is basically pimping up their bedroom. And it's all with found stuff. Like, maybe if I get it finished, then maybe I'll give you a tour. But you would not believe how, I mean, this is something I would really love to do for people. I could refurbish someone's home using mostly found materials incredibly cheaply, but with a bit of creativity and time. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, we're sort of, the response to the campaign initially was just overwhelming. And I'm so grateful for the grace period it gave us, but didn't hit target, and we're sort of back where we were now. Foolishly thought that it couldn't, it can't be that much longer before I find a job, but there's a couple of things that I'll be looking at in the new year. Lots of people very kindly reached out to me and introduced me to other people, and got a career coach that's very kindly offered me some of her time, so we'll be pimping up my resume and all that kind of stuff. But it's just, I fear it's too late, unfortunately. So it would be hard to think of anything more David than my Christmas present to my kids being creating the most amazing childhood bedroom that one can imagine, showing it to them once, and then us losing it. But anyway, so I wonder if I could ask you all to repost the campaign link just one last time, and see if it can do the rounds again. And you never know. I don't expect anyone that's already donated to donate again. I think it would be too much to ask. You've already done so much. But if you could just push it, one last push, that would be amazing. And I will, if I do get the kids' bedroom finished tonight, then I'll give you a tour of it. I'm also in the process, so basically there's a light shop in a shopping mall near us, right? And I love this place because they have some really cool light bulbs, which I use a lot of, and I've started spray painting them now that we have a brand name, Lamp, which is, I don't know if you can see here, but basically this was one of the, this is one of the first lamps that we did. I think I might have posted this, or that I did. This is a Werner Panton flower pot desk lamp that someone threw away, and it was missing a few parts. It's supposed to sit on a desk, and it's suspended from this thing that sits underneath it. But I've set up I've rigged up a desk here. It's all found material, right? All of this stuff is found. This architect's desk is found, although I've pimped it up. This lamp is found, which I spray painted a light bulb in it, and it actually looks pretty cool. It looks, I'm experimenting with a technique that basically makes the light bulb look like a black hole. Anyway, TV monitor found, this box found, this keyboard found, this desk found, this step ladder for a child's bunk bed, I found that, and anyway, loads of stuff that I found here which I've set up. So I basically suspended the lamp from that, but it was originally, I was just going to call it I Love Lamp, right? But my daughter got really inspired and she started getting some of these transfer things that I use for typography like this. And she basically, I just written I Love Lamp on it. Remember, this is when I was living in the dark and I was like, I don't give a fuck if this is like a high-end famous Danish designer lamp. I just need light. Anyway, she decided to, let's see if you can see that. What am I doing? I'm not doing very well with this. Anyway, I'll tell you what, I'll show you this one instead. She just wrote lamp on it and she thought that she'd ruined my lamp and she was like, oh, I'm so sorry, Dad, it looks rubbish. And I was like, hell no, it looks incredible, actually. And anyway, so basically, I don't know if you can see that, the brand name is just Lamp now. That's a spray painted bulb. And that is just 2 sheets of paper. Look. It's just paper. This is an old IKEA lamp stand, but it looks really cool. It looks, anyway, I'll post some pictures of that. Obviously I can't be using, these are LED light bulbs, so they don't get hot, so you can use paper on them, I think, although obviously I need to check that. Same with the spray paint on them as well. But I think I've come up with a solution for the paper thing, because I've started doing a few with paper and you can do some really cool stuff with it. But if I'm going to sell them, I don't really want to be selling. The problem with them is that every time you knock them, they get out of place, and that's really annoying. Anyway, so what I was thinking was, people throw away so many clothes over here. I could take fabric that people have thrown away and I could soak it in either some sort of sustainable resin and then shape it, and as it hardens it will then be, you know, imagine an A4 sheet of paper that you soak in resin and then you can wrap it around something and it will dry hard. The same with that kind of thing, you can shape it, or maybe even with beeswax, so it's sort of malleable in your hands enough to shape into something or sculpt, but then as it gets to, you know, as it cools down, it will harden. And I was thinking that I could even maybe get scented wax as well, but anyway, that's a conversation for another time. So I found this this lamp, or this like a hardware store, and there's a couple of brands of lamps that they're really good lamps and lamp fixtures and lamp cables and light bulbs and stuff like that. They're quite expensive, but they've got loads on sale, like absolute bargains. I'll show you another time, otherwise it's just going to be a really long video. But anyway, one of the things that I found there, all these bits of wood here, let's see if I can move you around. Oh, fucking hell. Sorry, excuse my language. Basically, I've taken it apart, but these are basically just bits of plywood, I guess, that have been cut to shape. And the idea is that they spread around these 2 bases, right? And it was supposed to be a ceiling lamp. Let's see if I can give you an idea. Anyway, there was something missing from it, and it was reduced, and it was like £10 equivalent of. And I thought, I mean, I didn't really like the shape of it, but I thought it was quite a cool idea, so I bought it with a view to experimenting with it. But basically the idea is that if you can imagine, you basically have the silhouette, all of these fan around these two things, and the light bulb goes through here and it hangs in the ceiling. But actually I found that once I put it together, it's quite an uninteresting shape, because this is just quite a boring uniform shape, and the light bulb, if you get a fat light bulb, it sits inside it. It's actually pretty shit. However, me being me, I started screwing around with it. And if you take these and put them top to toe, they're not cut quite right for it. Hang on. There you go. They're not quite cut quite right for it, but I'll try and give you an example. But if you flip them round top to toe, bear with. Then you start to get a more interesting shape, right? And basically, once it's finished, it's thinner at the top and wider at the bottom. So it's almost like bell shape. It looks like a tulip. So anyway, I've now got an idea for another lamp or lamp range. And I'm trying to finish the kids' bedroom. And as part of it, when I first moved into this place, probably the most expensive thing I bought, even though half the stuff here is all found, I bought some IKEA furniture. Most of it was like the cheapest version of what I wanted. A lot of it is actually garden furniture. You know, things like shelving and stuff, because it's all natural wood, and I like natural wood, but it's a lot cheaper because it's supposed to go outside. Anyway, the most expensive thing I bought was this big sort of stand floor lamp that has this big arc thing, and it's supposed to, hang over the center of the living room. And the problem is the apartment's too small for this thing. So no matter where I put it, and no matter what kind of lampshade I put on it, I just couldn't make it work. So I thought, fuck it. I had an idea for the kids' bedroom, which is a bit mad, but once it's finished, it should be quite cool. So anyway, so that's what I'm up to. I'm also doing other little bits of artwork. I've taken to taking old oil paintings that people have thrown away or bought very cheap, and just doing like a Banksy thing on them. Originally it was a bit of fun for the kids. I did one for the kids' bath for the bathroom, and then they started to get a bit more bitter and political the more I started to resent this country. Anyway, I've had this one for ages and I haven't really known what to do with it yet, and I've just come up with an idea for it. They're all sort of like picture postcards, bucolic pictures, of Copenhagen. Some of them are quite nice paintings. But this one is of the city centre in like yesteryear. And I wonder if any of my friends from the UK might start to get an idea for what I'm doing there. I'm just starting to block it out before I can shade in detail, but I wonder if any of you can guess what that might be. Anyway. So that's what I'm doing, but I don't know why, because it's just, I'm feeling pretty hopeless at the moment. Even our Christmas tree, which I haven't even decorated yet, because I also put my back out. So I haven't been able to have the kids for the last week or so, but even this Christmas tree, someone threw away. It's a plastic one, I found that. Speaking of that lamp thing that I was talking about, the sort of lampshade that I'm doing for the kids, I cycled through loads of different lampshades for it, and none of them really worked. And my best friend who lives over here had a lampshade that she wasn't really using, which is like a black cage. Anyway, so she gave it to me because she didn't want it. But I'm afraid, I'm sorry if you're watching this, Caroline, but her Christmas present, I haven't finished it yet. But I've taken an IKEA lamp stand, another one of these things, and it didn't quite fit. So what I basically did is I took a metal bar and I bent a ravine into it. So it now sits quite nicely. Let's see if you can, see that. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, and I've started making one for her. It will be worth it, Caroline, I promise. It's a visual gag once I'm finished with it. But there you go. That's where we're at. So Christmas presents this year. I'm resorting to shit that people don't want that they've given to me that I'm basically repurposing and giving back to them. But the kids' bedroom is, I think I'm just finishing it now just to prove that I can, I think. And like I say, if I do get it finished, I'll show it to you, but you'd be amazed at the shit that you can do with stuff that people throw away. And one thing that I've learned as well, after a lifetime of sales and customer service and stuff, and I've always been very instinctively good at customer service, learned to be very good at sales, quite commercially minded and stuff, and loved all of that. But what I found over here is that the Danes have this sort of ingrained sense of Scandinavian exceptionalism, which I don't quite understand, because there's a lot of the business world over here that I haven't really been particularly impressed with. But anyway, I'm in a really Denmark resistant space right now, so I don't want to say anything that I might regret. But anyway, basically, this whole experience over the last 4 years has left me thinking, like, what the fuck are you good for? People say, oh, you're a really good father. Well, yes, thank you, I appreciate that. But the problem is, like, my landlord doesn't take payment in being a good father. But these things that I'm doing, and I'll show you some examples once they're done. Sometimes I look at them and think, David, they're fucking stupid. What are you doing? But most of the time I look at them and think, wow, that's actually pretty fucking good. Especially considering you've just come up with, like, my brain looks at this stuff and something just pops into it. It's like, oh, that looks a bit like that. Or and I just set to work doing it. And it's the first time that I can remember in my life that when I've set to work doing something, I'm just really happy and calm and focused, and I can start and I can stay on it until it's finished most of the time. And no one else can do these things. I mean, you know, everyone's creative, but there's just, you know, I've just found a skill set basically, and I'd love to be able to make a business out of it that helps other people and teaches creativity and maybe helps less affluent families and people have nice homes without spending too much money. But I think, yeah, I don't know. We'll get Christmas out of the way first. I think we're going to the UK, so kids are going to see my parents, and I don't think the kids have seen my parents. Is it 2 years now? Yeah, I think it is, man. Fucking hell. Anyway, and it'll be another 2 years before we do Christmas with them as well. So I'm really grateful for it. I mean, things were pretty bad in that moment, and at least it has given me the grace period to be able to design a range of stuff that I can make and sell. Basically, it's not just lamps; it's other little things that I can either do custom or generic. So I have, you know, the kernels of an idea of something that I can do, but I fear that we're too late for this place. But anyway, to that end, I wish you all an extremely Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and hope you all have a wonderful time with your loved ones. And just one last ask, if you could just reshare the campaign link and just give it another push on your socials if you get a minute, and we'll see if we can squeeze another month out of it. That's it. Yeah. Merry Christmas and thank you.